What's up, everyone? It's Greg from SDF Fitness, and today I'm going to talk about some squat fundamentals. We're going to go over the definition of a squat. We're going to talk about knee placement. We're going to talk about torso position, and I'm going to show you kind of an exercise that'll help with both. You know, if you're just starting to learn and you're just starting to, relearn, I guess. All right. So, definition of a squat. It's a common misconception that the squat is a vertical movement. It's not a vertical movement because we're not an elevator. We're not a ladder. Our body doesn't work like that. We have hinges. So, knee hinge, hip hinge, all right? So, whatever exercise, especially squat, we can't move in a vertical path, all right? We have to incorporate some angular movement. So, I'm going to show you that real quick just so you guys can see. So, if we define the squat as a vertical movement, what will happen is we'll come over our knees and our heels will lift up. And that puts a lot of pressure on the patella and the knee. Okay, but if we define the squat as an angular movement, with a vector, an angular vector, then we can squat correctly. And the way we do this is actually by pushing our glutes out, popping that butt, like you're in the club, popping the butt. So, the first thing to break, which means to move, isn't going to be the legs, all right? It's going to be our glutes and our hips. What we're going to do is they're tight in this position. This is the full position, the end of the rep, right? They're tight here. What we're going to do is unflex them. We're going to push back, almost at the start of a kind of like a stiff-legged deadlift, all right? You can feel the pressure in your hamstrings and your glutes. So it comes out, and then from there we incorporate some vertical descent, but with the movement back of our glutes, we can sit down correctly. So once again, I'll show you in an exaggerated form. Straight, pushing out. I know it looks a little funny, but it works. Pushing out, and right where I feel my knees kind of want to press out and go down, that's when I can start descending. So you'll notice how I maintain that angle with the spine. I'm not rounding it, it's perfect. Alright, so that is how a squat should be defined, with an angular movement with your glutes and your hips, because we cannot squat vertically. So next thing I'm going to talk about is knee placement. It's a pretty big one I see in the gym that a lot of people have trouble with. And that's because they don't actively push the floor apart. We want to push the floor apart. And this will set our feet and our knees in the correct position. Alright? What I see a lot in the gym, and you guys probably notice this too, is what's called valgus. And that actually is when the knees come in. Right? Someone squatting, you might have seen this. Or something like that. It's pretty bad. It can cause some serious knee issues. So, I'm going to show you how to counteract that by first showing you the proper form, and then we'll do kind of a stretch reflex exercise that helps. So, from the side, our feet are at the appropriate angle, and what's going to happen is we're going to focus on spreading the floor apart, pushing the floor apart, right? And we're going to descend, but as we descend, we want to push the weight to the outside of the foot. Okay, and this is going to help our knees travel not vertically down, but outside and vertically down, all right? And we're going to sit between our hips. So from the side first, pushing the floor apart, descending, sitting between our hips, pushing our knees out. Okay, from the front, get our stance. Okay, mentally I'm going to push the floor apart. Okay, I'm going to descend, I'm going to sit between my hips. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, so now I'm going to show you that stretch reflex. Okay, so I'm going to descend into the appropriate position. Okay, even if I have problems here, right? I'm going to take my elbows. I'm going to make a prayer position, like I'm praying. Okay? I'm going to push outward as much as I can, as much as what's comfortable, and I'm push inward too. Okay? The reason I push inward is because I'm putting the weight back on my heel, but also on the outside. Alright? You're going to hold it for 5 seconds. It's kind of painful. And then you're going to come back into position. Inside. Okay, I have valgus in my knees. My knees are coming inward. Push. Alright, so we have that. Next one we're going to talk about is torso position. I'm also going to talk about tall guys too, because they have a huge problem. And it's not their problem, there's no amount that they can do to fix this. It's just kind of the angle of their torso. You know, I'm 5'8", 5'8", 5'9", so I'm pretty standard height. So my torso can maintain a correct position. I'm lucky. So my torso position should be upright. I'm flexing my lats, and I'm pushing my torso up. Okay? Maintaining neutral head. You notice my lumbar hasn't changed. I haven't dipped. I am not dipping. I'm still going below parallel, but I'm not dipping, right? Okay? The tall guys, they have a big problem because whether it be their tibia or their femur, it forces, it's like a pull pushing them outward further away from their center of gravity. So in order to compensate for that, they have to put the middle of their torso over their knee instead of their chest, which my chest is almost the middle of my trunk, right? So if someone had a much larger trunk, like maybe a tall person, they'd have to lean over more. And you'll see a lot of guys who squat pretty heavy, they'll have, their position will be this. So, and it's not necessarily their fault. So I'm just letting you guys know that sometimes you can't maintain what would seem like a perfect position because your tibia or your femur is very long too, and your trunk too. So a good exercise, this is just a simple exercise, just a simple air squat. Come down to your perfect position and try to hit this. If this is your position, force your chest up until you feel some contraction in your lats. So keep your hands parallel. Alright, so that's fundamentals of squat. There'll be more in the coming videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Make sure you check out our videos, subscribe, and like us on our Facebook page. And look forward to more videos. Alright, thanks guys.